When I was a kid, Luigi's Mansion was my game. I always loved Luigi, and I played through this an embarrassing number of times. I actually only got into Resident Evil a couple of years ago, around the release of the remake of 2. But I loved it, and now I'm super into it. And I couldn't help but notice a handful of similarities. I assumed Nintendo was inspired by Capcom. So I got to thinking, hey, I'm a real estate agent and a guy who likes houses. I wonder which mansion I would prefer. And so here we are. By the way, I'm a real estate agent, not a realtor. I legally cannot call myself a realtor anymore. If you're wondering what the difference is, realtors pay a lot of money to be invited to the special club. That's it. Now this isn't going to be which one I'd rather sell or which one I'd rather live in. Honestly, I don't think I'd want to live in any mansion. I prefer cozy homes. We're just going to talk about the pros and cons, compare and contrast, and maybe what I'd suggest if a buyer was trying to pick between them. I'll tell you right now, the Spencer Mansion probably costs a lot more. It's definitely got more property and probably interior square footage, especially if you count the guest house. But that's not always a good thing, that's additional cost of maintenance and upkeep. By the way, we're not counting the ginormous underground science lab. We're talking if we took these mansions wholesale and plopped them into our world in the corresponding locations. It's never confirmed where exactly the Arklay Mountains are supposed to be. I was thinking roughly Midwest. General consensus online seems to be Missouri. I've never been there, so I'll just go with that. Luigi's Mansion, on the other hand, based on these foreboding woods and overcast sky, I would think Scotland. And hey, I like Scotland, so as far as I'm concerned, that's a point in its favor. So in both mansions, the first place we enter is the foyer. Or foyer. I don't care, I'm saying foyer. Now, Luigi's Mansion goes back a ways from the foyer and lets the upstairs do more heavy lifting in terms of maximizing the use of space. The Spencer Mansion, on the other hand, has two wings splitting off from the foyer. So in the Spencer Mansion, right off to the left is a dining hall. I'm not sure how convenient that is. The kitchen is all the way down a narrow hallway down some stairs. You can't even use the elevator from the first floor. Servants are going to have a hell of a time preparing this table and serving guests. Contrast that to Luigi's Mansion, which has the kitchen conveniently right next to the dining room, on the opposite side of where guests would be coming from. Speaking of the kitchen, in the Spencer Mansion, you'll notice there is no other kitchen. And it's fine to just have the one, but this is like a catering kitchen. So if you or the kids want a snack from the fridge, you either better have one in your room or you have to go down the rickety stairs. Yeah, and there's some wall damage here, and combined with the tacky wallpaper, you might need to do some work. Though that'll bring the initial buying price down some. The house is being sold as is. Authorities are removing the bodies, but any bloodstains are your responsibility. Now off this hallway, between the dining room and kitchen, there is a bar. So in theory, you could add some kitchen amenities here, like a fridge and stove, and then it could be a great place for family movie night or just hanging out. In the bar is a piano, and if you play the right tune, it opens a wall leading to a statue with a crest thing. But if you take it out of the statue, the wall will close again, so you need another crest to put in. And then you take the golden one to the dining room, and it opens a clock where if you move the hands in the right way, it opens a secret compartment. Personally, I would get a clock that tells time, and just get a safe or something in another room. But I guess this works. As for the wall in the bar, I think there are better uses for a secret room than hiding a statue. Around the corner here, we come to our first bedroom. It's honestly pretty basic, not even a walk-in closet. Around the corner from there, we have what's called the tiger room. I think more houses should have tiger rooms. Then all the way around the corner is the greenhouse. Very functional, easy to use, no complaints. Now there is no exit to the back over here, which maybe there should be, but you can talk to the contractor about that. Honestly, these windows don't do much good in the hallway. There's not even a window in the bedroom, which actually in that case is legally not a bedroom. Also over here we have a storage room and a room that has been used for medicine and stuff, but really you can use it for whatever you want. Maybe a home office, but again, no window. So that's pretty much the first floor of the West Wing, so let's check out Luigi's Mansion. Immediately up the stairs in the foyer, we can find a parlor. Fairly relaxing, but if you have people over who are maybe elderly or have otherwise impaired mobility, getting up these stairs is almost out of the question. Then we have an anteroom, which I don't understand the purpose of. Beyond that is the wardrobe room, which works for extra storage because the bedrooms are pretty small. But you could easily turn this into another bedroom if you wanted. It even has a balcony. Down the hall are most of the other bedrooms, but there's not even a master with a full bath. In fact, there's not a bathroom up here at all. I think the nearest one is all the way down the stairs, down the long hall, and around the corner. This is going to be very annoying if you have to get up in the middle of the night to pee. Or for anyone using the study or home office here. One of the bedrooms here has windows that I thought were impossible, but upon further inspection they work. But this one next to it has none. That's fixable though, this is on the front of the house. So that's the first area of Luigi's mansion, but let's see a little more. Through the hall down here on the left is the laundry room. You'll notice the Spencer mansion doesn't have one of these at all, so this is good to see. You also got this big ass storage room beyond it, and I don't know if this is better, worse, or equal to the Spencer mansion, which has a ton of smaller closets for this sort of thing. Now there is a secret room through here, only accessible by taking a picture of a mouse hole in the wall and getting sucked through some kind of mystical whirlwind. It's a treasure room. Assuming you don't need a treasure room here, especially since this is not the only one, you could install a door and use it for something else. Actually, it seems like the storage room is mainly for the butler, but he has no bed in here. So that could be something you use the treasure room for. Or maybe you might make it into a bathroom. Would be a little weird having it right off the foyer, but that's up to you. I'm just the agent. Maybe have the treasure room be the office or study and turn the one upstairs into a bathroom? That'll be pricey though. Back to checking out the Spencer mansion, there's a room around the side of the west wing leading up to the second floor, but I honestly don't know what this room is. A bird room? There's paintings and chains and shackles? The shackles are a weird addition here since this room is pretty open, with windows accessible. So once you're out of the shackles, you're home free. So if you're going to kidnap someone, by the way, don't kidnap people, this is probably a bad spot to keep them. Oh, maybe it's a sex thing. So up on the second floor here, we have some snaking hallways. You can redecorate however you like. Over here we have a trophy room or something. Again, you can use it for whatever you want. The bird watching you is kinda cool, I guess. Though honestly, this room should probably be a bedroom. I mean, it's hard to see, but it does have windows. Though it does have this cool mechanism where you can put small things in the moose's eye sockets and they only come out if the bird isn't watching. But then down here we have this really bizarre railing. Why does it... I don't understand. Then we have this outdoor balcony or terrace area. This is really nice. Might need a good power washing, but I could see spending a fair amount of time out here. Then we loop back to the dining room on a sort of overlook. I'm not sure why. This could just be another room. It would need some major restructuring, but I would probably want to put the master bedroom here. But that's just my opinion. Maybe you can think of something better. Honestly, it looks like my initial thoughts of the Spencer mansion costing more might be wrong. While it definitely still has more property and square footage, a lot of it is in poor shape, and that'll bring the price down. They might end up being a similar price if this keeps up, but in that case you'll need to spend more to repair the Spencer mansion, so it still comes out to be the more expensive option. Now, the West Wing also has a third floor. It starts in this hallway here where there's a key that if you remove it, it causes statues to move and come kill you. I would probably disable this if I were you. Then it just kind of snakes around to the library. And it's an awesome library, but I think the third floor might be completely pointless. Some more closets, I guess. So checking back to Luigi's mansion, we already mentioned the laundry room and storage room, and the other end of this hall leads down to the basement, which we'll talk about later. Here we have a fortune-telling room. Beyond that is a mirror room. Well, I'm sure you can come up with a creative use for these. Also, these rooms have no windows on the inside, but you can see from the outside that they're supposed to be. I don't know what to do with that information. Now, we already talked about the dining room and kitchen, but through the kitchen is the garden. It's a small garden, but it's nice and it works well. Though I think the Spencer Mansion greenhouse has a beat in terms of functionality. Just needs some work in the presentation. Now, there might be a body buried here. Because when Luigi comes in, he fights a skeletal ghost. And the other main place we find those are in the graveyard. There's also a sign that says Mr. Bones is buried here. But that's not a gravestone. So, I know I said authorities are removing bodies, but they can't dig up the garden unless they know for sure a body is down there. So, if you're fine with not knowing, you don't have to dig it up. But if you do have to know, that's kind of on you. Now before we move on, the doghouse is also back here, strangely not in the backyard, which means the dog has to go in and out of the dining room a lot. If they shed like my dogs, that's a disaster. But maybe you, the buyer, don't have a dog, so that's not an issue. Or you can just remove it and put one in the back after you buy it. Though it does contain the only mystical whirlwind to reach the graveyard, but you could just break a hole in this wall for ease of access. Now, the graveyard is significantly smaller than the Spencer Mansion, and I'm pretty sure that's a good thing no matter who you are. Unless... No, it's still better this way. If I'm being totally honest, I would expect the Spencer Mansion to have even more ghosts than Luigi's. The Spencer Mansion actually has more than one graveyard on the property. The first is accessed through the foyer and a door and a painting, which is a weird style choice to say the least. Then a ton of these stones just seem haphazardly placed on top of each other, which makes me think this is like a storage room for gravestones they haven't used. But in the back there's a crypt with a furnace that can only be unlocked by placing a particular arrowhead in the slot, and you can easily hide that arrowhead on an actual arrow and keep it wherever you want. I think we can all agree this is superior to a common door with a key. The crypt has what I assume to be a crematorium furnace, but I wouldn't think you need both that and a crypt. And there's this cool mechanism where you can hang a coffin by some chains until you put the right masks on these busts here. I'm not sure there are a lot of uses for this, but it's a fine conversation piece. The other Spencer Mansion graveyard is out in the woods, near a cabin on a hill. I'm not sure what the purpose of this cabin would be, except maybe for the groundskeepers? But there's another shed for equipment, and they're not really near each other at all. So anyway, Luigi's Mansion also has a ballroom. It's small, but the Spencer Mansion doesn't have one at all, and the floors do this cool thing where they can spin. This is probably a tripping hazard, but a skilled breakdancer could make amazing use of this. Beyond it is a storage room with a wall and a mechanism. The sacred is cool, however, it's inaccessible by any other means, so the only place to hide something is in this... Also, it can be activated with a simple button, so I would put a poster over it, like this other one down here. I still think this is superior to the weird crest and clock thing from the Spencer dining room. At the other end of the first floor is a kind of game room. They have billiards, but you could also have arcade cabinets, a foosball table, anything you want. Opposite that is the music room. Again, there are all sorts of things you could use this room for. By the way, when I was a kid, I would sometimes come in here, activate all the instruments, and just jam out. Yes, really, that's not even a joke. So then we have the bathrooms. One for the bath and shower, and one for the potty. Honestly, it makes sense to have these separate, but it still feels odd to me. Also, I don't like clawfoot bathtubs, but that's a personal preference. At the complete other end is the home gym. Good equipment, decent space, no complaints. But heading back to the Spencer Mansion, let's talk about the East Wing. First place we have here on the first floor is the art room. There's a statue and some paintings, but this freaking house is full of statues and paintings. Beyond it is an art supplies closet and a dressing room. Then we have this long-ass hallway with... Is there a name for these things? They're not china cabinets, but they do hold dishes and have glass doors. Now, why? Why is this hallway tiled with kitchen storage, despite being on the complete opposite end of the house of both the dining room and kitchen? I mean, you don't have to keep these here, but replacing the tiling might be more trouble than it's worth. Then we have this fenced-in outdoor space with a boiler. Around the corner is this the only bathroom? Alright, you're gonna have to do something about this as the buyer. You need at least one more in the West Wing. More looping hallways around the outside. This is bad feng shui, I gotta be honest. Then you got this room with the trap ceiling, good for making Jill's sandwiches, but that's about it. Hallway from here goes a few different directions. We'll go straight first. On the right is a study, which is extremely small, but it could be useful. Then here you have a stained glass gallery, where if you turn them to the right colors, you open a secret door to the first graveyard, but if you do it wrong, you get attacked by crows. Guys, Resident Evil has a lot of bullshit, alright? You probably don't need this and the art room. Now down here is a passage to the back, which I'll get to later. Real fast, I want to talk about this other area here off the foyer, but completely inaccessible from anywhere else. I would suggest breaking down a wall here and putting a door in, but let's take a look. Okay, some more paintings and statues and weird stuff. Back here is... Oh, cool, they have a mirror room too. What is this? A dressing room? This looks like a stage curtain. There is no stage. Why is this here? Alright, so back to that hallway we skipped. This door was having issues, but has since been repaired. There's another storage room. Okay. Then we go upstairs. The knob on this door has apparently been removed, but beyond it is... well, a home office that makes me wonder why you need the small study also. Then through here is a horseshoe-shaped hallway in which we can find... well, I wouldn't call it an armory per se, but I would call it awesome. The hall leads back to the foyer, but there's another passage here that leads to a super dusty hallway and another smaller dining room? On the second floor? On the opposite side from where the kitchen is? With a back room for the china cabinet? I can't begin to imagine the mind that came up with this. Lastly, over here is an attic. Pretty large. Makes me think you wouldn't also need the other 15 storage rooms. So let's head back and see what's down the other way from where we came up. You got a room with a deer head, an insect room or whatever here, and another bedroom that is legally not a bedroom. Down here is the fireplace room, kind of a weird place for it, but it's nice. Then you got yet another big-ass gallery thing, but here the walls may move to crush you unless you keep these statues in place on the pressure plates. I don't know why you would ever remove them, but there you go. There's also a secret hole in the back that leads into some maintenance corridors in the basement. Why you would install this on the second floor, I don't know, but what should I even expect at this point? It leads back to the kitchen. Now before we move on from here, let's check back in at Luigi's and see the second floor. So the first room we come to is this second dining room again? Is this a thing with mansions? The game calls it a tea room. It still seems far away from the kitchen. I'm getting tired of saying this, but there's a bunch of other things you could do with this room. At the complete other end, we have the next set of bathrooms. Nice, nice. Then we have what is called Nana's room. Seems like just a knitting room since there's no bed, but say it with me, this could be another bedroom. Could probably put up a wall and make a walk-in closet here too, though the windows make that tricky. Then down the hall we come to... okay. I would suggest we purify this room with holy water and then... well, your call. Then we have... trans-dimensional viewport? I don't really know what to do with this. Should we say this is an illusion? Because if this is real and we take this to the real world, that might make this the most expensive thing ever. Yeah, I'm gonna go with illusion. Still cool though. Then we have a door boarded up for some reason, but that's easy to remove with the right tools. It actually connects to the chimney on the roof. It's another treasure room. Yeah, even if you do need a treasure room, you probably don't need two. Then down here we have a sitting room and a guest room. Fun fact, this is probably the creepiest room in the game, but we fixed it and now it's normal. I'm just gonna say it, there should 100% be a door here, especially if we keep all the bedrooms as is and don't install any more. This is way too far from the main bedrooms. There should also probably be a door over here. The whole house would flow better. As it is, the only way to these rooms are the stairs in the foyer, and the only way to this whole area are the stairs in the back. What if there's a fire? Moving on, heading up to the third floor, we enter the safari room. I don't hate this, but it's the only way to access the rest of the third floor. You might want to reorganize. This hallway has two fake doors that should be real. Yeah, I'm thinking the fake doors won't be here once we move the house to Scotland. But yeah, you might want to install them here. Then we have the artist's studio. Good, nice. Now, because of the fake doors not being real, the only way to access the other side is to go outside on this giant-ass balcony, which, if we're being honest, is pretty dope, but still. Over here we have more fake doors that should be real, especially since this one would lead to the ceramic studio, while currently the only way to reach it is through the armor room. Again, I wouldn't call it a proper armory these days, but it is awesome. Though I'd say I like the Spencer Mansions a little more. It's more organized. Then over here we have the telephone room. Yeah, mansions used to have these. Though honestly, this could be a good lounge or something. This is the only other place we find these skeleton ghosts, inside these large chests. Read into that as you will. Through here we have the clockwork room. Seems like a novelty thing, but honestly I kinda like it. And this is the elevator to the roof. Got some neat pillars up here. I like it. Now I want to check out the basement and exterior, but let's head back to the Spencer Mansion. From the east wing we can head to the back, but it only opens if you keep this crest in the mechanism. I would disable that if I were you, especially since this same crest is also needed to access another room from the foyer. From here we enter a garden shed, but it splits off two different ways. The first takes you through the woods to the cabin we mentioned earlier, but before that are some weather vanes that you need to position correctly to get these dog statues to face a certain way so you can enter this gate. This gate that looks extremely easy to go around, and also, what kind of mechanism is keeping it locked exactly? This path takes you by the second small graveyard where you can hide a small item. I don't know why you would need to, but it is an option. So the other way from the garden shed is to the first courtyard. It's nice, but kinda small. From here we can reach the reservoir, which connects to a waterfall in the lower courtyard. I might make this into a pool, personally. There are two elevators that connect to that courtyard, one by the reservoir and one by the first courtyard. I like this one better, it's more open. Through this passage that could have a waterfall leads to some underground passages that are honestly so dangerous I would just block them off. Though they do have these incredible mechanisms to rotate whole tunnels. That's some impressive engineering. Though some equipment down here needs repair if you do want to keep this open for whatever reason. I don't want to spend too long down here. So from the lower courtyard we have a passage that leads to the guest house. I was on the fence about including this, but if we don't, then we can only market this place as having one, maybe two bedrooms and one bath. But let's do this fast. We got a weird gardening storage room we probably don't need. We got the first bedroom, it's small, but it does have a window and its own personal bathroom. From here we can go to the bar, but I want to save that for the end. So we head down this hall, there's another bedroom at the end, and here we have some kind of antique room connected to a chemical lab. And the third bedroom is here too. Then there's, I have no idea what this room is. Then there's a hallway that snakes around to the other side of the other hallway, and I don't know why. And finally we have the bar. It's pretty much all liquor and maybe some snacks, no fridge or stove. There's pool tables, decorative plates on the walls, and posters like this. This feels out of place. I guess this house is for the help, but even then, this is weird. And it's only 3 bedrooms. So there's one final area beneath the main mansion, but let's finish up with Luigi's. Before we talk about the basement, let's talk about the grounds. Assuming the fences are the property lines, it's actually really small. I guess the woods would be public property then? Could be an issue for kids playing outside. There's potential for getting lost or running into bad people. If you own more land, there's a lot you can do to prevent risks like that. Now the back courtyard is nice, but again is pretty small. There is an outhouse here for some reason. I don't know if that counts as another half bathroom. And then we have... well, I thought this was a well, but it's not. It connects to a viewport of an area in the basement. You gotta close this up or it's gonna flood easily. Let's check out the basement. Got a breaker room, simple enough. Over here we have a storage room with a lot of dust buildup. I forgot to mention, both here and in the tea room we have these stickers that invert gravity for whoever touches them. I don't think we should count these. I think it would cause our universe to implode. Past that we have... cold storage? Okay. And next to that we have the pipe room with the water main and whatnot. Good deal. And finally down this hallway is the room we saw before. It's a secret altar, I guess? Honestly, this could be a vault or something for your most valuable stuff. This is a better treasure room than the others. So let's finish up with the underground from the Spencer Mansion. Again, we're not counting the research lab either here or in the guest house. No giant sharks, none of that. So through this door we come to some caves and some rickety boards to cross, leading to another crypt with a bottomless pit. I can think of a bunch of uses for this, but not many legal ones. I'm curious to know what you come up with. Let me know in the comments. Through here is the only passage to this fountain, and, well, since we're not including the lab, that's about it. So what's the conclusion? Well, if you're looking for functionality in a house that actually does its job of being a house, Luigi's Mansion is the clear winner. It's cheaper, requires less remodeling work, and is in Scotland. It has its downsides, but compared to the Spencer Mansion, it's the clear winner. On the other hand, if you want a mansion to stroke your ego, or if you need to trap some unsuspecting victims inside with unnecessarily complicated puzzles, then I guess I'd go with the Spencer Mansion. It's got good bones for that. So that's the end of this crazy long video. Let me know what you thought, what other stuff you'd like to see from me, and yeah, so that's it for now, my friends. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to comment and like. I'll see you later.